We are live, Alan. Let's record this.
Yeah,
Recording in
yeah.
progress.
That's the new thing today. Can I record
Recording
this
in
meeting? Can I record this
progress.
meeting? Can I record this meeting? Here we are, Alan. Let's check out the balance here. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. We're live. I want to make
Yes,
sure.
we got to make sure everything's up to speed for the long-awaited
Yes.
Tony Martin era Black Sabbath. Nothing but good
Unboxing.
news, Jim. Nothing but good news.
So you want to see it? So I got
Yes,
it.
yes. Okay,
And
here
you know,
we
I
go.
left the plastic on. You ready? Here
All
we
right.
go. Oh, wait a second.
Okay.
That's not it. That's not
Okay,
It's the
that's not it.
police. Do you like this one, though?
Uh,
It's nice, eh? You like the police?
yeah.
Message in a box. Look how
Okay.
beautiful that is.
Do you say so? Let's focus on Tony Martin.
There's
Look, I did in dedication to Tony Martin.
Hey, look at you, Mr. Tony Martin.
Headkerchief on.
All right.
Dedicated
So
to
this is it, Alan. This is not
okay, this is the real
not the vinyl. This is not the vinyl. This is the CD box. So keep in mind, even though I did interview Tony Martin, they did not send me any promos because in BMG in Europe, UK, Rhino, United States, Canada. So that's the and so I bought it. I didn't care, Alan. I just bought it. I go, I'm not going to wait for any promos. I'm just going to buy this. I'm going to give my money back to Tony Iommi, Tony Martin, and Sharon Osbourne. Here we go. This is what it looks like.
Sharon Osbourne. What does he got to do with it, Tony?
Well,
Martin?
she's got part of the name, you know. She's got a
All
piece
right,
of the
all right.
action, right?
Sharon's got everything.
Okay.
All right, that looks good. Anno Domini.
19. So it does not include Eternal Idol because Eternal Idol was on, I'm not sure which label, but it was not on IRS.
All right, hold on. Let me check.
Check.
Right here.
Mic check. Everybody.
Eternal Idol was on
No.
Warner Brothers.
Okay. I should have shown my Eternal Idol. I have the Eternal Idol. Do you have the Eternal Idol on you? The album, or you just?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay. There it is. Was that the original, or is that like later on re-released?
It's the original, released in '87.
How much you pay?
$6. I found it in a
deal.
used record store decades later.
This goes for about $80 to $90 Canadian, maybe $70 American, $60 American. So there you go. In pounds, I don't know. Do the conversion.
Like £1 is $600 Canadian.
Made in Germany. Look at that. Made in Germany. So there's the albums. That's what it looks like. I was pretty surprised. I ripped open the Amazon Pure Later bag, and I go, "Wow, this is pretty nice." Look at that.
All right, let's get to it. Let's unbox that bad boy.
Look how thick it is. It's like a book.
Yeah,
it's like a brick.
You got a T-shirt in there, maybe, or
I don't know. But what I did is I did a little tear because last time when I did an unboxing, I couldn't get it.
Lederhosen, Black Sabbath Lederhosen, that's made in Germany.
So here it comes.
There we go. Oh, listen to that.
I like to do the smell test, right? Because back in the day, we had a certain smell, right? Those cassettes and albums. So far, I'm not smelling anything.
I've never smelt an album, Jim. I'll take your word for it.
Okay, so there we go. The plastic is off.
Yeah, get rid of that. Discarded.
Right away, we can see that there's a little packaging here, maybe because of little backpack, because they probably made these, and then for each specific import or country, they had to sort of add this. Somebody's saying, "I bet there is a walnut inside." We can only hope. We can only hope. Their purple label is in the bottom. Is cool. Okay, there you go. So there you go. So that's what we got here. We got this little paper, little flyer inside. And again, just to tell everybody, Tony Martin, it's only these albums that are included, right?
On IRS.
On IRS tier, cross purposes, forbidden, and oh my God, I'm drawing blanks here. What's the top one there, Alan?
Cross purposes and headless cross.
Headless cross.
How can you forget the headless cross?
I don't know. So I'm opening it up now.
All right, let's go. Can't wait.
It kind of feels like, you know, when you're about to open a box of Black Magic.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody who's watching us, is me and Alex balanced?
Alex, who's Alex?
Alex is my nephew. Yeah. Alan.
So great interview with Tony Martin. Always a gentleman. Long overdue. I'm glad he's getting his due, and this is his. Like he said, I love the part of the interview where he says, "I gave mine away expecting I'd get some more copies, and he never did. So he doesn't even have copies of his own albums. Now he will. Tony Martin will have copies of his own albums with this beautiful box set.
Beautiful. Look, it's very firm. It's not flimsy so far at all. I like that.
A box.
It's kind of like when you buy a box of After Eights or Black Magic chocolates, right? You're going, ooh, my chocolates are here, right?
Okay,
so you open it up.
Is there a book? I like books.
Well, it's got some sort of little. Buy it
for the book.
It's got a lever.
Yes. Okay, Jim. Does it come with an instruction manual like your?
Alan, I'm opening up. I'm pulling up the. Okay. Oh, look at this. Look at this, Alan. Look.
Yes.
Look at this.
That's usually how it works, Jim.
No, well, I've never seen it like this.
A lot easier than the Anomaly Ace Frehley CD that you have.
Okay, let's see what we got here, Alan. Alan, I got like a book.
Yes, that's always good to have a book. I enjoy the books more than the music.
Wow, this is really cool, Alan.
Look at that.
Okay, maybe I could show the screen here.
What's it talking about? What's
it's all pictures. Look at that. We'll just grab
a little bit
randomly.
Tour picture. That's probably backstage passes. Black, just black.
So I'm just trying to show it this way if I can. Very nice. And it feels like it's glossy. It's smooth. I want to give everybody all the senses. Look at that. Look, a nice picture there. See that? Metal hammer. Bang, bang.
Yeah, and Mr. Jim Harrison is opening his box at the same time as you. So we've got synchronized openings here.
Maybe I should just bring them on.
There you go.
Look at that.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. So far so good. I'm digging this. It's it's not flimsy. It's very solid. This book is very, very nice. It's very well made. It's not going to rip off. Kind of like, one of those books I've had in my house, Alan, that I fold them. You can't fold this stuff. It's not too easy. And then you start ripping off the pages. I'm really bad at that. Okay, let's see what's next. Let's pull up the lever.
Okay, what do you got there? What do you got going on there? Let's see. Let's see this up. Check it out, Jim. What's that one?
There's more stuff.
Another book. 2 books.
2 books. And what's in this book? Oh, this is more like tour pictures.
Almost like a tour book.
Look at that.
Look at that. Is it a reproduction of the actual tour book from that tour? It looks like.
I don't know.
Could possibly be.
This one has that smell. The new tour books. The new tour book smell.
Smelling books now.
Okay. Does everybody agree with me? Back in the day, you bought an album, you bought a cassette. Jonathan's saying mine arrived 5:30 p.m. UK time. It's amazing. Look at that. Give everybody a little guide.
Looking good. Looking good.
Look at that.
Spoiler alert. We forgot to say spoiler alert. But if you're checking in with us today, you'll probably want to see spoilers here.
Look at that. Look at that. Very nice.
That looks like a reproduction of the actual tour program.
Well, I'm getting balanced. So far, no walnut.
No wallet. Yeah. We'll keep digging.
Oh, wait a second, Alan. I'm gonna pull the lever again. I'm gonna pull the lever.
Okay.
What's this? What else is inside here? Whoa!
This like a Beavis and Butthead episode. I find that's like a poster, Jim. Hey,
I could hang this in my wall.
That's it.
My wife will love this.
Headless chops.
I love this. I can't remember what it was.
Pork chops. Jim. I got the original on vinyl.
How much you pay for that?
This one I paid used $8. I recently saw it in a used record store. They were asking $175. Good investment. Plus, I like this album a lot.
So far, I'm really digging
Devil and Daughter, When Death Calls, Call of the Wild, Kill in the Spirit. I mean, everything. This is just a great album.
Alan, Here we are. This is the companion to your little child.
Look, what do you got there? You got any?
I don't know.
You got any bonus tracks or anything?
Even though they call it I can't remember what they call it. These little the Slimmies. It's very well made cardboard. There definitely is Cloak and Dagger. I believe is the bonus track.
Oh,
Let me just double check that. I think it is. Can't remember after all these years.
so what you got? The Gates of Hell to Nightwing.
Headless Cross, Devil and Daughter, When Death Calls, Kill in the Spirit World, Call of the Wild, Black Moon, Nightwing, and Cloak and Dagger is the bonus track.
Yeah, the Gates of Hell is the opening track. I think so.
Yeah, Gates of Hell.
Yeah.
The Gates of Hell is the opening track.
You started with Headless Cross, no problem.
Sorry.
Devil and.
So I did hear the remastered version of this. It sounds great. It sounds great. Not that the album never sounded great.
Well,
right?
Originally engineered and mixed by Sean Lynch, but who did it now? Who did it now? Or
Tony Iommi did the remaster and the remixes of these albums, but this is not remix. A lot of people are asking, where did these bonus tracks come from? I think they've been floating around on singles, on B-sides, on Japanese bonus discs of these albums, over the years. But this is the first time they're actually included on a remastered version of this album. I would guess this has probably been remastered somewhere around the world, but this is the official remaster from BMG and Rhino. So there you go, Headless Cross. Alan, your favorite album of the bunch?
It's up there. It's up there. I wouldn't say my favorite, but it's a very good album, and I think it was. Although I like The Eternal Idol with The Shining, I think I like this album maybe a little bit more, than The Eternal Idol.
I agree with you.
I do like The Eternal Idol, though.
Yeah.
Let's see what's on there. I can't remember.
Call of the Wild, but that
Hard Life, Born to Lose. Yeah. Two good albums. But that's it. I like the Tony Martin era.
Headless Cross, any comments about it? The album itself?
Great album. I just love that album. Tony Martin, I always found his voice was, at the risk of repeating myself, a kind of a mix between Dio and kind of Glenn Hughes kind of thing there. He fits right in the middle there. But I always thought he was a great vocalist,
Jim Harrison is saying, well-made box set smells fantastic.
Yeah, Jim's smelling it too. So
yeah,
Spinal Clefs. Instead of smelling the glove, you're smelling the box set.
Yeah. Sleeves in the CDs are amazing. I agree. It's got nice texture, very well made. Okay, Tear is the next one, right?
Yeah. Well, here's my copy. I found at a used record store. Look at this. Classic rock series. That's how low on the totem pole they were. That this was re-released through Classic Rock magazine. So I got 9 tracks on here. Jim, what do you got there?
No, there's no bonus tracks on this sucker. It is remastered.
All right.
Anno Mundi, love it. Jerusalem, love it.
We got the Lawmaker on there.
Oh man, people! Let me just turn off my phone here.
You got the Lawmaker. You skipped the Lawmaker. You're skipping songs there. You're so excited.
Getting thrown off with the smell.
The smell.
So let me just open this up. Here it is. There it is. So that's what it looks like. Very well made. A nice sleeve. It's kind of like a strong cardboard. It's not cheap. It's not cheap or flimsy at all. I don't know what the albums look like, but it does not seem cheap or flimsy. What other comments do you have about this album, Alan? In terms of your love for it over the years?
Yeah, it's a a little bit different. A lot more about Vikings, so it tells a little bit more of a story. I enjoyed it. Again, I don't think it's a bad album at all. Out of the 4, I would rate this probably number 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know what? I kind of like, this is probably one of my favorites. I find that these are like companion albums. They got the sort of same big, epic, Deep Purple Rainbow feel meets Black Sabbath. So these are kind of like companion albums to me. A lot of multi-layers, a lot of reverb. So that's my sort of take on these two. And I do love these.
Neil Never Hurry or Murray on bass.
Yes.
Whitesnake, Gary Moore, numerous bands, Company of Snakes.
Yep. Neil Murray.
Funky bass player, especially on those early Whitesnake albums. Yeah.
Bring out your next one there, Alan. I'm going to use the lever once again.
Mine is
for safety
this
reasons.
Would be. I think this is my favorite from the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cross Purposes enormously. Okay. I think also produced by Leif Masses. basses. He also did Tear.
Yeah.
I mean, Geezer's back in the band, so it gives
He's
you that
back in the band.
a little bit more of the Sabbath sound. But Bobby Rondinelli does a great job.
Yeah.
I like this. I think this would be up there with Cross Purposes. It's I always like with Headless Cross. I always like Cross Purposes. I know a lot of people have said it's probably one of their worst albums.
Really?
When you see these ratings of the greatest Black Sabbath albums, this tends to be on the back end. But I think it's one of the strongest Tony Martin albums, personally.
Here we
I
are.
like it a lot.
There it is. Beautiful.
I like the colors.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Let's see. It looks a little bit. It looks, yeah. Show me that again. It looks more bluish. Yeah, much more bluish. The Angel with the burning wings. Mine's a little. Look, it's on the gray side.
Oh, look at that.
It's more on the gray side. That's really a nice blue. I like that color.
It's a very nice blue. It's a very Mediterranean blue.
Yeah.
Let's open this up.
Nicer album cover than the original, even.
What's the Use is the bonus track. Again, were these Japanese bonus singles? Were the B-sides? People have heard them, just not on these official remasters. This is remastered. Okay? This is remastered. And that's it.
And again, we've interviewed Tony Martin over the years. Everybody had the same question. When was this going to happen? We got a little bit of a teaser a couple of months ago that it was happening, and now we got the proof in our hands. So far, so good. Looking really nice. I mean, I just like the color. That's so much better than the original.
Let me show it again.
Let me show it again. Look at the color.
Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful album cover. Eyewitness, Cross of Thorns, Psychophobia, some great tracks. Evil Eye, I believe that's the Eddie Van Halen song, right? That's the one that Eddie Van Halen.
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I mean,
yeah. I agree. It's probably one of their best. It sort of becomes. I find that this album sort of now they're going back to the Black Sabbath sound. I could picture Dio singing this album a little more so than these two albums.
Well,
that's just me.
You know what? I mean, Dehumanizer was released around this period, right? And I mean, for me, there's no comparison. Right? This album is so much stronger than Dehumanizer.
Well, production-wise, that's for sure. I kind of like the songs a little more on Dehumanizer, but I agree. I mean, look, it's a toss-up. Maybe one day I'll wake up and I'll say, I feel like this album. And the next day I'll wake up and I go, you know what? I feel like Dio. I feel like smelling the Dehumanizer album today. But, Any other last notes on this album?
No, it's like I said, one of my favorites of the bunch, and it's definitely one of my favorites of the Tony Martin era.
All right. Oh, look,
now this is a great album cover. I love this album cover.
Look here. Let's use the lever to get it out. Now,
let's see this. I can't wait.
I'll let you talk about this first.
Oh, look at that. They put so part of the backside is on the front there.
Yeah. Let's see the back here. Look.
Yeah. See here on the original one, they put.
Yes.
Okay, that's what they did. So they cut it here on. All right. So what's on the back of the original CD?
Yeah.
Going back to let's see the year here, 1995, Jimmy. Now this is one that's one of the weaker one in the entire Black Sabbath catalog. I know people say that's my favorite. Yeah, okay, but really, seriously, out of all of Black Sabbath, this is your favorite. Could be.
This is
it's not mine. But saying that, it's not as bad as people have made out over the years. It really isn't.
No,
you still got Cozy Powell. You got Tony Iommi. You still got Tony Martin. I mean, you can't complain. Again, compared to other stuff that Black Sabbath did, perhaps. But I mean, compared to other stuff that was out there at that time, I mean, I still think it's not as bad as everybody has made out over the years or decades, I should say.
So I took your version, the original version, and I compared it to this version. So this is not only remastered, but it's remixed. Holy Black Sabbath. This album sounds friggin' like it was recorded this year or within this generation. Not generation, I would say the last few years. the production, top notch. I can't even believe I'm listening to the same album. Whereas your version or the original version, the mix is very low. Everything's kind of muddy. Holy crap. They've taken every track, like the vocals, the guitars, the drums. They've cleaned up. Like the vocals are so clean. The drums are so powerful, so prominent. And the guitars, holy crap. The guitars were really low in the mix. Now they're like thunderous and they're on both sides, the right and the left.
And
this is like Tony a new
Martin,
album.
That's what it's Tony like Martin was saying, album. Right? He had wished that Cozy was still alive so that he could hear this mix, right?
I'm shocked. Like from a guy who couldn't stand Forbidden to like, man, this album is not bad at all. So there you go. That's my take on it. Like, look, we're not going to go through track, but wow, man, the drums and the guitars are up front and the vocals are clean, like really clean. Like they must have used some sort of technology just to clean it all up.
So what else is in the box there? What do you got in the box? What's left? You got a pick? You got a headless cross in there?
That's it, Alan.
No, that's it.
All left is with the lever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. No, there's no smell. That's it.
Your string is showing, Jim.
There it goes.
There he goes.
And that's it. So there you go.
Right.
Forbidden. For those of you who have never really got into this album, or for those of you who never really liked this album because of the mix, well, the new remix brings out the songs. I'm not saying this is the greatest Black Sabbath album ever. All I'm saying is that this new remix has now put it into the classification of a good Black Sabbath album. That's all. Remastered,
like
and remastered. Look, I've heard these songs and I'm going to go play them tonight. And I think it sounds great. I think it's well worth the money, for me at least.
Well, it's like what comments we're reading, like Tony Martin himself said, that these are hard to find. I mean, Headless Cross, like I said, I said, you're asking $175. And he's like, oh, that's hard to find. It's IRS records. And I said, I'm not complaining. I got one at home. I'd gladly sell it for $175. So, but back in the day, Jim, these albums, if you could find them, okay,
yes,
starting with Seventh Star, and then Eternal Idol, and I think I might have seen Headless Cross in a record store. They were more or less in the liquidation bin for $3.99, $4.99 within 2 weeks of them being released. There was no interest. Iommi was the only one left. As you alluded to in your interview with Tony Martin, it's like people didn't like the change. Every time a member left, it's like a piece of the band diminished. And that's what was happening. It's like, okay, yeah, right. Yeah, Black Sabbath. It's only Tony Iommi. What a joke. Who's even listening to this thing?
Well, you know what? And I even admitted that to Tony Martin. I go, listen, back in the day, a lot of moving parts in the band. It kind of turns you off because back then we were very loyal to the members of each band. And every time there was a little shift, we're like, hey, wait a second here.
Yeah, what's going on?
Second. It's either you died and that's okay. You got the excuse. But if you didn't die and you start changing members, like, whoa, wait a second. Tony Iommi, is this a solo band? What is this? Feels like a cheap ripoff. But saying that, now that time has passed and we're more accepting of changes and changing of members in bands, we can look back at this music objectively.
Yeah. And again, my point is that, this allows people that never had them, never part of their collection. And like I said, since they went straight to the liquidation bin within like a week or two of them being released, they didn't do thousands and thousands of copies because they sold less and less. And IRS was not a major label to begin with. Yeah. So not only were they hard to find back in the day, they're all almost virtually impossible to find today. So the timing of this box set, it allows, like you said, a lot of people to go back and enjoy 4 albums that are virtually impossible to find. So
this comment here from Jim, this was so needed to be re-released. New metal fans will check these out. I agree, right? Sharon Osbourne is probably screaming because she knows she can't make any money out of it. No. Actually, the reason why these were delayed is because there were so many hands in the cookie jar. Because Sharon Osbourne, I believe, owns, I'm not 100% sure. She owns a piece of Black Sabbath with Tony Iommi. Therefore, anything that's being released under Black Sabbath, things need to be negotiated. Tony Iommi also said, Born Again, one of my favorite Black Sabbath albums, is going to be remixed.
Oh, finally. Finally.
Oh, baby.
Forged in Fire Anvil and Born Again are like probably the two worst mixes.
Yes.
I had very strong albums, but just two poorly mixed albums. They had problems with the tape on Born Again. So that'd be interesting to clear that up and see if there's anything left in the vault to throw on that. That would be interesting to hear on Ian Gillan's one and only album of Sabbath.
Respect the Riff says, Forbidden Remix is awesome. A few missteps on the vocal effects. I agree. So if you listen to the albums back to back, there's a couple of vocal effects on the original one that are not on the new one. But it doesn't matter. This is so minute. Little keyboard stuff might be missing or lowered. It doesn't matter. The mix is so incredible, you won't even care. And you know what? You could always listen to the old one if you miss that muddy sound so much. That's pretty much it.
Right.
Looking forward to...
Thanks for sharing that with us, Jim.
Yep. You know, I'm really happy for Tony Martin. You know, it seems that he's been sort of dissed for so many years. And this is sort of his way of showing the world, you know what? Hey, I have a legacy too with Black Sabbath, or I have a legacy.
I'm part of the story.
I'm part of the story.
I have 4 or 5 chapters in the Sabbath story. So
yeah. So there you go, folks. Enjoy it. I would definitely pick it up if you haven't. And that's about it.
All right, Jim.
Great box set, guys. I'll show it once again. Here it is.
Here on the Metal Voice.
All right, man. Thanks, everybody.